California called tularemia, up around Tulare, California. If it's on the skin, it's a bad rash and irritating and everything, but not fatal. But if it's breathed in as an aerosol, death in 24 hours.
Rosa and other white coat volunteers were required to give weekly blood samples so that the project's doctors could monitor the progress.
Once that was done and everybody was fine and everything, then you were taken into this great big lab they had, where they had a thing called the 8-ball. And it was a big round cylinder that had a thing that you could fix your face up to. And then they would blow the live disease virus into that and breathe it in.
Rosal survived his initial exposure to the viruses. But just before he was due to breathe into the 8-ball and begin the next phase, he withdrew from the program and transferred to another post.
The Army had told us, if you ever want out of the program, you can get out. There'll be nothing held against you. And when the monkey started to die, I had just gotten married, and my wife knew about the program. She freaked out. We were expecting a child, and she said, man, I sure would like it if you asked to get out of that. So I did.
Despite the fact that he pulled out of the program before the most extreme stage of the experiment, Rosal experienced recurring rashes and other medical issues for decades. Of the 2,300 United States soldiers who volunteered for White Coat, hundreds would face serious and even fatal illnesses from their exposure to the program's viruses. But for many of these veterans, the risk was well worth the reward.
The White Coat volunteers, I think, really were American heroes. They volunteered to be parts of studies to defend against diseases that are really a problem, and particularly in the underdeveloped parts of the world.
Thanks in large part to the White Coat volunteers, the United States developed successful vaccines used to combat hepatitis, equine encephalitis, and tularemia, as well as biowarfare agents.
I'm really proud that we were able to be a part of that. The research that was done, it's been something to help with disease for thousands of kids around the world. And the scientists, they thank the good Lord for what we did. You can take great pride in the fact that you took part in the program.
From one man's dream to create an army of warrior monks who used the paranormal as a weapon against a nation's enemies, to the sacrifices of another generation of fighting men who selflessly volunteered in the war against deadly diseases. The story of the super soldiers proves that governments will go to almost any lengths to gain the upper hand on the battlefield, even experimenting on their own soldiers.
No.